Okay, I looked on Infinite Campus and you already have Y1 finished. So you're on Y2 here. Y2, you multiply the big numbers and add the little numbers. So multiply, they're called the coefficients, and the little numbers are your exponents. So like this problem, 3 times 5 is 15. Then you put your F there, and then it's 3 plus 1 would be to the 4th power. So multiply the big numbers, add the little numbers. Same thing here. 6 times 8 is 48. J, and then 2 plus 1, that'd be to the 3rd power. All right, find the area. When you find the area of a square or a rectangle, you just multiply the two sides. So this is actually the same thing again. I've just got 8 times 2 is 16, and then the x has nothing to put with it, so it's just 16x. All right, this one, a triangle, the area of a triangle is 1/2 of the base times the height. So you multiply again, just like we did a second ago, except then you also have to take half of it. So 6 times 3 is 18, but then half of 18 is 9. So this answer is 9x. All right, this is a basic one again. 3 times 8 is 24, and then I've got 1, that makes c to the 2nd. All right, this one, I'm just gonna do the side times the height. This is a parallelogram, so I think it's just the height here times the base, So I just multiply here. 3 times 2, that's 6. And then x times x is x to the 2nd. Same thing here. 2 times 2 is 4, and x times x is x to the 2nd. And we only have to go to 70. All right, this one's a rectangle. You just multiply the sides. So 3 times 2 is 6, and x times x is x to the 2nd. This one's a parallelogram. You still just multiply the 3x times 8. So 8 times 3 is 24, and I only have 1 x. So 24x. 10 times 5 is 50. And then there are 7 plus 1, there's 8 w's here. So it's w to the 8th. And one more and I'll be at 70. Rectangle, you just multiply the sides. So 9 times 2 is 18, and there's only 1 x, so 18x. All right, I'm finished with this one. Let's go back and look at Y3. So Y3 is division, divide. When you divide the big numbers and subtract the little numbers. Divide and then subtract. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 9 subtract 2 is 7. So 5z to the 7th. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and then 1 subtract 9 is -8. So remember, to make it positive, I have to put the 1 on the top, and I'm going to put q to the positive 8 on the bottom. Like that. All right. Same thing's going to happen here. 4 divided by 4 is going to be 1. And then 3 subtract 9 is -6. I can't leave it negative, so I put it on the bottom, and it'll be +6. So 1 over b to the 6th. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 subtract 6 is -4. So I'm going to put the 2 on the top, and I'm going to put c to the positive 4th power on the bottom. All right, 4 divided by 4 is 1, and then 5 subtract 1 is positive 4. So this one's just 1k to the 4th. I don't have to put the 1 in the front. It's understood to be there. We could just put k to the 4th. That's the same thing. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 3 subtract 6 is negative 3. So I'm going to have a 1 on the top, and I'm going to have u to the positive 3 on the bottom. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then I have 1 subtract 5, that's negative 4, so put it on the bottom and make it positive 4. Alright, even though this has got a negative, we're still going to do the exact same thing. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Negative 1 subtract 0 is negative 1. So to make it positive, we're going to put it on the bottom. So u to the positive 1, or just u, is on the bottom. 0 subtract 8 is negative 8. They're all the same. Put it on the bottom here to make it positive 8. And 7 divided by 7 is 1, so there's just a 1 on the top. 1 subtract 0 is still 1. So 7 divided by 7 is 1. This one has no negatives in it. It's just 1s. See, because 1 subtract 0 is still positive 1. So 1s, which is just s. 1 subtract negative 3. Subtract negative makes a positive. So it's 1 plus 3, that's 4. And it's positive 4. So this answer is 8t to the positive 4th power. Alright, and that's, I'm already at 70, so I'm done with this one. So let's go back and look at the next one. The next one is Y4, and all it does is combine multiplication and division together. So what we've just done, it puts both of them in the same thing here. So you multiply the big numbers. 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 times 8 is 48. And then there is 1, 2, 3, 4 m's, because you add the exponents. So m to the 4th. All right, multiply before you try to divide. So let's work out the top here. 8 times 2 is 16, m to the 2nd on the top. So 16 m to the 2nd is on the top, and 2m to the 2nd was on the bottom. I didn't change anything on the bottom. Now you divide, so 16 divided by 2 is 8, and 2 subtract 2 is 0. So the m's cancel out, and that answer is just 8. Alright, this one's a basic one. Just multiply and add the exponents. I'm going to skip and see what's next. Still the same thing. 7 times 9 times 2. Alright, so 7 times 9 is what? 63? Let's see. 7 times 9 times 2. I'll type it straight in. That's 126. And then we have, add the exponents. 0 plus negative 1 is negative 1. And negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So the ends are going to cancel out. So the answer is just 126. Alright, work out the bottom here before you do anything to the top. So leave the top alone. 2d to the negative 1. And then on the bottom, I've got multiply 2 times 1 is 2, and then add the exponents. So it's 2d to the what? Let's see. 2 plus negative 4 is negative 2. Now you divide and subtract. 2 divided by 2 is just 1. Negative 1 subtract negative 2 is negative 1 plus 2, which is 1. Positive 1. So 1d to the first is the answer, which is just d. 1d to the first is just d. That's just a basic multiply. Let me skip ahead again. And I'm at level 70 right here, but you still make sure you just combine f with f and g with g. So this is 4 times 8 times 8. So 4 times 8 is 256. And then I'm going to add the F's. There's 2, 3, and then 3 plus 6 is 9. And then add the G's here. It looks like we got 3 of them. So G to the 3rd. So my answer is 256, F to the 9th, and G to the 3rd. Oops, didn't make an exponent. G to the 3rd. Okay, that's all for this one, and there's one more, Y5. The last one, powers of monomial, it's called. And this one is when you do the power to power rule, you have to distribute. The little 2 outside the parentheses gets distributed in the parentheses. And you have to remember that there's actually a little 1 connected to the coefficient here. There's a little 1 above the 5. So it looks like this. It's 5 to the 1st, G to the 8th, all to the 2nd power. And the 2 gets distributed. So 1 times 2 is 2, and 8 times 2 is 16. And then you have to go ahead and say, okay, what's 5 squared? That's 25. So the final answer is 25G to the 16th. 25G to the 16th. Okay, same thing here. There's a little 1 right here. So it's going to be 7 to the 1 times 2 is 2. So 7 to the 2nd power. And 6 times 2 is 12. So m to the 12th. Well, 7 squared is 49. And then m to the 12th you can't do anything with. So that's the answer. 49 m to the 12th. That's the same thing again. Let me jump ahead and see if they get more difficult. No, I mean this is the same thing here. On the next level, the 10 has a little 1. So it's 10 to the 1st, B to the 6th, C to the 5th, all to the 3rd power. So it looks like that. So you multiply all the exponents. So the 10, the B, and the C all drop down. So 1 times 3 is 3, 6 times 3 is 18, and 5 times 3 is 15. And then we have to know what is 10 to the 3rd power. So 10 squared is 100. So 10 to the 3rd power is going to be what, 1,000? So this is going to be 1,000 B to the 18th, C to the 15th is that answer. 1,000 B to the 18th and C to the 15th. And that's all of the Y's. You can send me a message if you need help. You told me you was going to work on this at midnight. Don't send me a message at midnight, but you can send me a message tomorrow and I'll help you if you need help with any of this.